Mosey Nation, what is going on? In this video, what I want to talk to you about is a hot take that I had on people who complain that their business is not growing enough and yet see everything as though people owe them something. And so I did 2 videos or 3 videos a week for 3 years. And everyone, you have some bombs, you have some great videos, and this is among the top 1% of videos that I made in terms of the number of people who shared it, liked it, commented, and all that stuff, and it was in a private community, and I want to make it public to you guys. And so this video truly will show you the frame of mind and the perspective from which to see customer success, increasing lifetime value, how to ultimately provide more value than everyone else does from a framing perspective, and it applies to sex, it applies to business, and it applies to life. And this is one of the hottest take videos you see. If I share any numbers in the video, it's because it was in the past. That's why. If you see a discrepancy, that's the difference. So anyways, Mosey Nation, there's a lot of people broke. I don't want you to be one of them. That's why I make these videos. Keep being awesome. I'll see you guys in it. Enjoy. What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday. Man, I've got a good one for you today. This is even one where I looked at Layla and I was like, I'm gonna have to take a walk on this one. This kind of came to me and I was thinking about it, and it's just like, man, it's this one kind of philosophy. So we have five core tenets at Gym Lunch. Rather than go through all of them, I'll tell you what one of them is, and it's own it. That's one of the 5 core tenets that we have. And if you are curious about why you would have those, you make core tenets so that you can always reference them back for yourself and for the employees that you have, so that you can say, like, this is how we make decisions, right? And you can always look back at that and be like, this is who we are, right? So own it is one of them. And oh man, this is so good. A lot of people get really upset about their customers who sign for a 12-month membership and then quit after 3 months, right? And I'll hear the same people trying to get out of franchise agreements that are 5 years long, right? And saying, this is BS, I haven't gotten the value. They didn't give me what they promised they would give me, right? We're being real talk. And so one of the things and one of the ways that we have ridiculously, like, almost zero churn on our highest level group. So our most expensive group, we basically 0 churn. And if you were to ask anyone, or someone were to ask us, like, how are you growing this fast, all this stuff, is that honestly, I think it's just because I'm incredibly insecure deep down, and I have this huge fear of rejection. So I don't want anyone to not like me, and I don't want anyone to feel like I'm not giving them what I said I was going to give them. And it's a serious fear of mine, probably rooted in insecurity. If you can shift your perspective from thinking from, well, I just got the contract, we're done, to like, we just got the contract, oh shit, now we have to fulfill on this, right? The way I see my relationship with the Gym Lords group, I see it as a week to week. Like, you guys are on week to week with me. Unless I perform, unless I provide value, like, everyone's gonna leave, right? Now, obviously you need to be discerning, you need to be wise, you need to protect yourself with the contract. That goes without saying, obviously, right? And you have agreements that are there. But if you ever rely on your business because of contracts, you will lose, always. Because at the end of the day, people will do what they want to do. If you rely on contracts, your life will be living hell. Because then people are like, well, F you, like, you tricked me into all that. Like, if you live on contracts, your life is gonna be about contracts. And how about you? I don't want my life to be about contracts, right? You can go even deeper with this, okay? So when, like, I married Layla, I honestly had this feeling, we both had a conversation, like, literally the day, like, the night of our marriage, and I was like, shit, we can't mess this up. I was like, this is it. I was like, you're the one I committed to. If anything, I was like, if we ever have issues, I was like, we got to confront it immediately. It's like, because we're in this, right? If you treat your marriage, right, you've got that contract, you're like, I got a contract, you got to be with me, right? And you treat your marriage like you treat your customers, I got a contract, you have to stay here, you have to pay me, you will lose, and life will suck. But if you consider it as week to week, like, I consider us day to day, and I used to make that joke when we were dating, people were like, are you guys committed, like, in a relationship? This was right before we got married. I was like, we're month to month. She hated it, but the joke for me served the fact that, like, you're only as good as your last paycheck, right? You're only as good as your last day. And the moment you rest on your laurels, the moment you get lazy is the moment someone else who's hungrier will take you, right? And that could be someone who's hungry who takes your wife. Now, obviously we have commitments. We have shared principles that we never want to, like, we believe in I don't want to get biblical on you, but like we believe when you get married, you stay married, right? That's the goal, and that you can always make it work with anyone, right? That's our belief, and that was one of the things that we checked on each other before we got married, right?
But that being said, if you look at what the Bible says, right, and this is just marriage, but the marriage and business are so similar because you have to do the stuff sometimes you don't want to do, and you got to be consistent. You got to do it every day. You can't just say, hey, great job this week, and then not say anything for 2 months to your customers, right? Same thing with the marriage. I can't just be like, hey, babe, thanks for making dinner once a month, and she makes dinner every single day, right? And she crushes it. She's awesome. Layla's a freak. She's amazing. If I could run our business the way, well, she kind of runs her business, but the point is, if you're losing customers and you're like, all these people are flaky, no one, and you want to get into victim mindset of like lamenting customers, right? They're people, and people will always be self-serving. You can always count on it. I had a mentor tell me that. He's like, if you always predict that people will act in their own self-interest, he's like, you'll always be right. And I've always thought about that. I was like, wow. He's like, you want to predict the future? Predict them. Predict that they will act in their own self-interest. Forget what they say about principles. Forget what they say about anything. And so what you want to do, if you like, which is why you should always align relationships so that how their best interest is with you, right? So like, I have to make legacy so freaking good that their best interest is staying and paying me. Right? I'm being super real with you. And so if your customers, right, at your gym keep leaving and you keep saying no one honors their word anymore, no one does any, like, BS, man, like you probably didn't honor your word, right? Because you're no longer in their best interest anymore. And they tell you that by leaving, right? By having high churn rates. That's how they tell you that. That's how the market tells you that you're not being good enough, right? And so despite signing the 12-month contract, despite signing the 18-month contract, whatever it is, live week to week. Live workout to workout, because the real contract that they have with you is for today. And the moment that one of your employees gives them lip or says something rude or doesn't show up on time or the bathroom looks like shit or their music is the same playlist they've heard every single time they go to your gym, they're gonna leave. That's it. They'll come up with their reason. They'll say they got busy, they'll, work, or they're moving, they'll come up, their friend's a doctor or a nurse, they'll get the fake note. It doesn't matter. If someone wants to leave the relationship, they'll leave. If your wife wants to cheat on you, she'll find a way. So you don't want that. So it's like, I gotta make this so good that you don't want to look anywhere else. You think you'd be crazy to look anywhere else, right? And they'd be like, I want my wife to go out and be like, if some guy's like, hey, come hang out with them, she's like, do you know what I have at home? Like, you're a fool. You know what I mean? If you think that that's gonna get me, right? Like, your game is so low, you have no idea what I have, right? So they see a gym advertisement for something else, they're like, you have no idea my gym. Like, you have no idea how my trainers treat me. You have no idea how I feel when I walk into that gym every day, right? How those people can make me feel. And so if you think about your relationship with your customers as you're only as good as yesterday, you're only as good as today, that's it. That's all you've got. And so every time you have to resell them. Like, I sell Layla every single day on being with me. Every single day. Because I love her to death and I want this to be awesome forever. I do. And I know that in order for that to happen, I can't just appreciate her once a week. I can't even appreciate her once a day. I tell her every moment, baby, I love you. I'm like, you're awesome. You're so good. I was like, you managed our team so well, I could never do this without you. And it's true. Right? And so if you look, here's another one. Ready for it? You've got your employees. Everybody's got their employees. Everybody complains about their employees. My employees don't work hard enough. They don't care about my customers. They don't care. Well, how are you showing up as a leader? How invested are you in them? Do they feel like my trainer left with all my customers? They left with them. Because it was so bad with you that they had to look somewhere else. It was so bad that they had to leave. And so it's like, how can I make this exchange fair exchange? How can I make this exchange even abundant exchange? As in, they get more than what they get from, I give more than I get, right? How can I make this an unfair advantage? That's how you have a value discrepancy. Value discrepancies keep people. People don't go to Chipotle because it's worth $7. People go to Chipotle because they pay $7 and they get a $20 meal. That's why they go to Chipotle. That's the secret. I'm all about raising prices, but I'm all about being 10 times more valuable than my price, which is 3 times more expensive than everyone else. And never, ever, 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 ever taking it for granted. I don't take your attention for granted. I don't take the fact that you pay us every week for granted, because I know that there's always somebody who's gonna come after me and try and be better than us. And I have crazy insecurity in thinking that like tomorrow it could all be over. And I never want that to happen. And so if you think about that with your customers, you will always be ahead of your competition. Like, we're constantly innovating because I'm like, shit, everyone's gonna copy my stuff. Everyone's gonna copy the stuff I came up with last month. I gotta make new stuff. I gotta make new stuff, right? And when I'm concentrating on my customers and not my competition, right, then I make good shit, right? Because I want them to stay. And I'm thinking I'm only as good as my last paycheck, right? I can only provide for Layla if I provide for you stuff that makes you money for real. Anyways, so this was a walk and talker. I thought I would just give you a little Saturday morning love as I get some fresh air in SoCal, soak in some of the SoCal weather. But I love you guys. So if you guys want to have an amazing marriage, amazing business, amazing relationship with your customers, amazing relationship with your employees, don't ever think about what you've done, because they don't. People don't. Humans don't. Right? We don't remember what we did. We don't remember all those things. Like, every time, I can't tell you how many times my wife has taken the trash out. I always remember when I take it out, right? We always remember what we do, but we forget what everyone else does. And we forget that they forget what we did. And we think that it's wrong that they forgot. When in fact, we just have to do more again today, right? Because you can't change anything else, and I can't change how they're gonna think. And so you can either lament how human beings are, or you can react and win and just adjust. Right? You can just adjust. So all you got to do is just know that everyone's going to forget. No one will honor their vows. And if you think about life that way, you will never be surprised in business. If people leave you, then take it as a sign. I'm doing something wrong, right? If there's some, discontent in the marriage, take it as a sign. So be like, she doesn't appreciate me. Think about how I can appreciate her more, right? How can I make things better for her so that she wants to stay, right? So she gets excited. She doesn't want, she has no energy anymore. Like, okay, cool. Well, why don't we have energy? Why don't I make her dinner once? You know what I mean? Or what, whatever that person's love language is. I'm not gonna get too deep into on the marriage side, but you got to fill their needs. Customers and employees too. Especially since we're selling service. Most of us are selling service. And if you're selling service, you need to fulfill the person's needs. Otherwise, they're not going to fulfill the needs of your customers. Right? Are you investing in them? Do you want them to grow? Are you giving them the things that they need to move on and become rock stars? So anyways, I love you guys. I hope you guys are having an amazing, amazing day and weekend. Hope you found this valuable. As always, thank you very much for your attention. I know that you have many things to spend your attention and eyeballs on, and I'm honored that you decided to spend the last few minutes with me on Saturday morning. Lots of love, guys. If you're a gym owner and you haven't joined, I promise we can help make you a bunch of money and make this business a lot easier for you. So lots of love, guys. Talk to you soon.